Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the last number of chapters of this training that you've gone through. And I want to take a few moments here at the end to kind of put these things in some perspective. If you remember at the very beginning of the workshop, we talked about wanting to elevate your concentration level while you're speaking so that it included not just your concentration on the what you were saying, but the what you were doing while you were speaking. We wanted to bring those two levels to parity. Now, depending on your orientation and depending on how much experience you've had, you are relatively adept at some of those processes. But what we wanted to do is get you the way you were thinking to change while you were actually presenting. In a nutshell, we wanted to encourage you that instead of trying to spray the room with your eye contact, instead of trying to capture everybody at once, which only increases your nervousness and makes it harder for you to concentrate on what you're saying, that you slow down, that you have a series of one-on-one conversations with people in your audience, and you do that by connecting and completing your thought. You find a pair of eyes, finish your thought to that person in normal conversational tones and rhythms. Silently then connect with another pair of eyes and continue the conversation. In that way, you basically help control your own nerves, you connect personally with your audience, and it actually helps you stay focused on what you're going to say. And an added benefit, it diminishes the number of ums and uhs that you'll find yourself using just simply because you're trying to find vocabulary. So connect and complete. That's the first part of the presenter's craft. Second thing we talked about was to react to your visual. And that's a physical approach. It's a disciplined approach to helps you as an audience, as a speaker, stay in sync with your audience, to help you get their attention to the visuals when it needs to be there, and then come back to you so they can pay attention to you while you're speaking. When you don't do that, the audience is reading while you're speaking. By the time they reconnect with you, you're 3 points down and they're back at the top. So you disconnect with your audience by reacting to your visuals with them. You stay in sync with your audience. Then we talked about animating your voice, and we talked about 3 different aspects of voice. We talked about the volume level, we talked about the tone, and we talked about the pace. By being able to pay attention to the level at which you're speaking, which should be 1 or 2 notches above your normal conversational tone, to keep that conversational feel to what you're doing unless you're in an environment or you're presenting a speech for which that would be inappropriate. You want to keep it more informal and conversational. Makes you more approachable, and it makes the connection with the audience seem more genuine, and in fact, become more genuine. And then lastly, of course, you want to keep your pace under control. If you're trying to motivate your audiences, you speak quicker, you speak more loudly. If you're trying to educate them, you can afford to speak a little slower with a little lower volume. So that's how you get the most benefit out of your voice as a presenter. Then we talked about focusing your gestures, not just letting nervous movements go happening with your hands, not just twitching or playing with them or clicking your pointer, your laser pointer or your remote, not playing with a pen, not fiddling with your notes. Basically use your hands, use your gestures to augment what you're saying. Let them be part of the illustration rather than a distraction. That's focus your gestures. And then finally, take control of your movement. Nobody's going to stand still for the entire presentation, clearly. And if you have a long presentation, you wouldn't even want to. But move with purpose, move intentionally. Don't just wander, don't rock back and forth, don't twitch side by side. Just move with some purpose. And when you get where you're going, balance your weight, feet parallel, about hips width apart. As you do all of those things, you connect and complete, react to your visuals, animate your voice, focus your gestures, and take control of your movements, you develop the presenter's craft. I want to welcome you to that challenge. It's a lifelong challenge. The fact of the matter is, every presentation I make, I am still paying attention to the aspects of my craft. We want you to do the same. Now, clearly, as you take this course, you have opportunities to give feedback to us, to ask us questions. We'll be glad to answer your questions. We suggest that for each presentation that you're making, consider videotaping yourself so you get to see what you look like. But concentrate. One presentation, one skill set. Don't worry about trying to get all of these things done. It's too much to think about for any given presentation. Take one skill. Focus perhaps on your voice or your eyes or reacting more to your visuals. Pick one area and concentrate on those. Then give us some feedback. Ask us some questions. If you want, send us the videotape. We'll give you some feedback ourselves. Thank you very much. Welcome to the journey of becoming a craftsperson, someone who pays attention to the craft of communicating. Be a presenter who knows his or her craft. Thank you very much.